Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get 'em.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
In today's rapidly evolving energy landscape, compliance is more than just a checklist. It's the foundation of operational reliability, safety, and trust. And here in Indianapolis, we're honored to be at the heart of that mission. We collaborate with asset owners, operators, helping them stay ahead of NERC standards and grid demands. Our electrical engineering and compliance experts provide hands-on support tailored to your fleet. As expectations rise and regulations evolve, you deserve a partner who brings more than just expertise. You need commitment, clarity, and confidence.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort, fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Hey Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter @IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now @IndianaSRN.
Good evening from Heritage Christian High School. It's another week of Indiana high school football on IndianaSRN. Tonight, the Eagles of Heritage Christian playing host to the Bulldogs of Lapel. Two teams that are ranked towards the top in Class 2A, a clash of an undefeated Bulldogs team and the 4-2 Heritage Christian Eagles. Tonight's broadcast on IndianaSRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown dealer since 1955 with 5 central Indiana locations. Reynolds meets all your equipment, parts, and service needs. Boilermakers Local 374, representing skilled workers across Indiana. Discover the Boilermaker advantage with Local 374. Burtner Electric, spark with confidence, your trusted electrical partner since 1986. Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893 thanks to generous, caring individuals like you. Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. LifeWise Academy, they bring Bible education to public school students during school hours. Learn more at lifewise.org. And by Liuna, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunity. Alongside Craig Cox, I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hard to believe that we're into Week 7 now, Craig, but we certainly are, and the weather is fantastic. We have had plenty of great games in our first 6 weeks of action on the family of networks, and we're treated to a pretty good one here tonight in Class 2A. Lapel comes in undefeated, that 6-0 record. Their closest game this season was a 3-point win. Everything else has been them taking care of business. The defense is phenomenal, one of the better defensive teams, not just in Class 2A, but in all of the state. And Heritage Christian, we've seen a couple of times their offense pretty spectacular with a good senior quarterback leading them in Eli Nix. I mean, just to break the ice here real quick, we're in for a treat, I think, with this game.
No, I think without question. As I mentioned to you before we jumped on the air here, I've had the opportunity to do this game 2 of the last 3 years, and now this is 3 or 4. And I'll tell you, it's becoming a great rivalry between these two programs. And they're very similar. You got Coach Brink coming in from Holland Christian in Michigan, being his first year after the exit of Kyle Ray, and then Tim Miller. He's been there for 14 years. I think it was like the first 4 years he had losing seasons every year and hadn't had one since 2015. So he's really built a great culture, great program there. The kids are bought in. I asked him, previously or earlier in the week about, how do you keep your kids focused? When you're undefeated, you're at the end, are you looking too far ahead to sectionals as opposed to what's in front of you? And he said, you know what, Coach, it's one of those things that we haven't had to do any of that. He's got a great focused group, senior leadership, and yes, I think you said it best. We are in a good one here off 75th and Binford.
One of those seniors that is leading this team on both sides of the football, really. He's had some carries, he's had some touches on offense, but defensively, he's just as good, and that's Jaden Lindsey, a terrific, one of the leading tacklers on the season. We talked about the quarterback for Heritage Christian. On the other side, Devin Craig, he is as good as advertised, 17 touchdowns on the season, just 6 interceptions. Takes care of the football for a fairly balanced offense that Lapel has. We know how good their defense is. Offensively, they're averaging just over 30 points a game while only giving up about 2 touchdowns to their opponents. And the coach's kid, Jack Miller, we talked about him before the broadcast, how good he is running the football, keeping that offense balanced, and just a junior, too, able to help out this Lapel defense to this undefeated record so far.
Yeah, and I mean, Lapel's coming in on the defensive side. As we talk about that, they're returning 8 starters. So what a great pieces of equipment in your tool bag, right? I mean, for Coach Miller to have. But the thing that Coach Miller also talked about is just their depth and what they can throw at you. There's great strength in numbers, and so many people associate those numbers in terms of statistically and not so much with personnel. But when you can have what they have in 5 legitimate receivers to throw at you and keep guys fresh and new looks, that can make it hard for the defense of your opponent. But these two teams are very much alike, a lot of parallels offensively, both big play people. I think Heritage is probably more the big play team, whereas Lapel just going to look to wear you down. But both put up 30-plus points. They both are consistent on the ground and through the air. I think that Heritage is a little bit more on the ground game, and Lapel probably a little bit more stronger overall statistically with through the air. But make no mistake about it. Both these teams can hit you with the dual threats.
You mentioned Coach Miller. He's in his 14th year, a 90 1967 career. On the other side, Coach Brink, his first year, made the move into Heritage Christian from out of state, and he has his senior quarterback, Eli Nix, leading the offense this year. 12 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions for him. Both quarterbacks pretty similar numbers, around 1,100 yards passing so far. There's a look at Heritage Christian donning the all-black uniform tonight with the black helmets, looking pretty sharp against Lapel on the other side, who we will see in just a moment. A couple of pink socks and towels also honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month in this October. Eli Nix in that mix somewhere, and as mentioned, taking care of the football. A lot of guys that he's able to dish it out to. There's 5 guys on this Heritage Christian offense that have 14 catches or more. They're led by a plethora of seniors, one of them being Tyson Powles. He leads the team in catches at 23, but not too far behind is Andrew Sloan. You have Aiden Lyon. All those guys can come up big and make a big play if needed.
No, I mean, and that's the thing, that when you have those extra tools in your belt to be able to put out in front of their defenders, certainly makes it a little tougher on the schemes. But, again, it's play-by-play. I think that's one thing, again, that both these teams are going to have to eliminate, the big plays and being able to try to sustain each other, because I think we're certainly in for a great one here tonight.
We're just outside of Indianapolis at Heritage Christian High School. The Eagles lining up, getting ready for the national anthem, just a couple of moments away from getting this one going. Lapel 6-0, undefeated, and ranked in the top 5 in Class 2A. Heritage Christian trying to hand them their first loss. We'll see if they can do that. Kickoff is minutes away from Heritage Christian on IndianaSRN.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. The Eagles tonight hosting the undefeated Lapel Bulldogs in Class 2A. They are ranked number 3. We talked about the offense of Lapel and just how good it's been, averaging a little over 30 points per contest, but the defense only gives up 14 to their opponents. A couple of guys to watch out for tonight on that defensive side. We mentioned Jaden Lindsay. Jack Miller is also a two-way player. Reed Hamilton is good in the secondary. Make note of Will Gilbert, one of those defensive ends. He has a couple of sacks and plenty of tackles for loss for this Lapel defense. Anything that Coach Miller mentioned to you, Craig, during this week when you had a chance to talk to him about what he likes from his defense and just how well they've been playing, especially they've had a couple of games where they've limited their opponents to just one score, under 10 points.
Well, the biggest thing that he talked about is how a veteran group and great leadership, and how it started in the off season, and how they haven't had to you haven't had to coach the kids up. It's been something that there's great buy-in with this group. There's great camaraderie, great support for each other. These kids just love football, he said, and so from that standpoint, they hadn't really had to reel them in a lot. He also talked about what this season has been about is like, guys, go out there, mess up. It's okay. As much as some people are like, what are you talking about? I mean, but they feel like the quicker that they can get their kids to failure, then they can get their kids to success by just fine-tuning things. And when you think of the fine-tuning phase, we're certainly in that now. You are in your fourth quarter of a 9-game season to where you're trying to fine-tune things. You're beyond trying to find out who you are as a personnel, as a team, what your role is. You're beyond that. You're trying to fine-tune things now, really trying to correct some of the small, minor things and making the fine details and tuned up for sectionals, which, we're at draw here in 2 more weeks.
And Lapel has been historically good as of late.
They have.
Winning sectionals. It took them a couple of seasons under Coach Miller when he first arrived to figure things out, but as of late, Lapel has had deep postseason success, as has Heritage Christian. Both these teams fairly recent sectional winners. Also on the edge, watch out for Mason Kennemer. We're going to call his name, I believe, a couple of times. He has a couple of sacks for that Lapel defense. Trying to go after Eli Nix on the side of Heritage Christian. Obviously, their leading passer, also their leading rusher. Over 100 carries. They're going to be a run-heavy team, as we saw a couple of weeks ago when we had their game against Covenant Christian. And since then, it's been the same type of recipe. Nix has 11 touchdowns on the ground to go with his 12 through the air.
It is. I mean, they're looking for ball control. They're looking to not only wear you down, but think about, time of possession while they're wearing you down. And keeping the ball on their side of the field. And so, I think, again, we talked about statistically what the numbers that they're putting out from points per game to rushing to passing and total yards. There's a lot of similarities between these schools, and I think just how the coaches approach their programs and the culture builders and what they're trying to do and what they're trying to get done, I think has some great parallels to it. So I think both of these teams, programs, have great respect for each other. I think over the last 5 to 7 years, it has really, really become a great matchup and what I feel is becoming a great rivalry between both of these schools.
And the captains of both of these schools meeting at midfield. We'll see who will get the football first. Lapel won the toss. They deferred. So Heritage Christian will be receiving. We'll see Eli Nix and the rest of the offense when they hit the field. The all-black uni kit for Heritage Christian tonight. Lapel wearing white with black helmets and black pants. Should be an exciting one. Lapel, ranked number 3 in Class 2A, have not suffered a loss yet this season. Their last game was a win at Rushville a week ago, 41-8. And the closest game was a week prior to that. 29-26, the final against a very good Indian Creek team. So Lapel squeaking out one there.
And you talk about what Lapel's schedule is, and you look at Heritage being 4-2, and the 2 losses that they have, it's combined to 5 points. And you're talking about a 4A with Garin Catholic and only losing by a field goal, which certainly is one that they let slip away there. And then the other one was a 2-point loss to Cecina. So we could very well be talking about 2 6-0 teams here tonight. But nonetheless, have it as it is. And we got 6-0 against 4-2, but Heritage is on their home field, and they're looking to be a spoiler here tonight.
As the numbers go, both teams really good offensively, averaging over 35 points a game. Heritage, though, giving up 24 to their opponents. That's the difference. Lapel gives up half of that. Their defense will be out on the field first. Pack stands on both sides. Good turnout for the visiting Bulldogs. And the kick is away, a squib up the middle. That's going to be bobbled at first and then picked up at the 22 for Heritage Christian. On the short return is Sam Sponseller. So the Eagles will have not the best field position, it looks like, at the 24.
Well, certainly took a little bit more time to field, and not only speaking of position on the field, but those are always tougher to field itself and just picking those up, as you could see there. But I got the first play here and see what we get right here out the gate.
Nix brings the offense out. In the backfield with him is Elijah Pimentel, the fake to him. And then the swing pass caught by Sloan. No gain. Good tackle out in the open field. Getting to him first for Lapel. Trying to get a number on that guy real quick. Looked like Kinnemer.
Well, and this is one thing that Heritage tonight, they've seen some good players and good teams, but I think they're going to be a little surprised with some of the speed that Lapel has on the edge. They do a great job of protecting and sealing that edge as well.
Jaden Lindsay also in on that tackle. Here's a hole for Pimentel, and he's chopped down right at the 30-yard line, so a gain of 6 for Elijah on second down.
And you saw what a great read there that you had by Hall of shooting that gap and what looked to be having open field or in a crease, but did a great job of coming up and making that open field tackle.
So here comes a 3rd down and 4. Nix will roll out to his left, immediately looking to run. He's not going to get past the 30, maybe half a yard gain, so a 4th down and maybe 3.5. We'll see what the offense decides to do. Would be a very interesting call early on in the game, but the punting unit is out there.
Yeah, I think on your own side of the field and being first possession of the game, certainly got to be one that you got to punt this away.
So it will be a punt from the Eagles. Fielding it at the 30. Makes one guy miss, and a good return down the far sideline across midfield. Good field position upcoming for Lapel after the return from Mason Page.
Great job there. Not only breaking tackles, but good vision as we take another look at it here. Pretty decent punt, but certainly had some great blocking and some decent room here. Breaks the tackle here and then hits to the outside. Couple missed tackles trying to get arms as opposed to making some contacts, but what great starting position here for the Bulldogs on the positive side of the field here at the 43.
So here is Craig. The senior will have Jack Miller to his left. And a quick pass on the hitch route, caught. Good gain on 1st down. That receiver out there, Griffin Stowe, with the first catch.
Well, when you're getting that type of cushion, nice little back shoulder throw, didn't even drop back. Just a quick release there. Great positive yards of getting 6 yards here on 1st down.
And they're quickly on the ground with Miller on 2nd down, looking to get that 1st down. Miller's going to be about 2 yards short, so just a 1-yard pickup.
This here is 4-down territory, certainly, if they're not able to get this where they're at. I long for a field goal in high school and being at the position that they're at. But we'll see what they do here on 3rd down.
You start with good field position. Miller, they go back to him. The defense of Heritage Christian standing him up. May have even pushed him back just slightly. No gain on 3rd down, but you got to think the offense will stay out on 4th.
Yeah, I think so, and certainly with that, I look for them to look to get Devin Craig potentially outside of the pocket here to maybe make something happen with his arm or legs for that matter. So
4th down and 2 for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers both sides. Craig wanted to throw it quickly, now flushed out. Can he get the edge and the first down? Heritage Christian doesn't think so.
Oh.
He's short.
Oh, great stand for them. They just got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard at best. It appeared at first that he may have gotten it, but no, he's clearly a yard short. And great stand by both the Bulldogs and now the Eagles with first possession out the gate. So certainly great momentum, from a defensive perspective. I'll just see which team offensively can get things going.
Had to get to the 33, but just the 34. Now it's back to the Heritage Christian offense, and a good start on this first play of the drive. Close to midfield, Pimental knocked down at the 48, a gain of 14.
Well, and that's their game, the ground and pound. They're going quick. They're thinking about pace, but the guys up front creating these holes.
Back to Pimental with a pulling guard this time. The Lapel defense read it well, standing him up and pushing him back. Will Gilbert, one of those defensive lineman leaders.
Well, again, we mentioned before, they have 8 returning defensive starters from last year, so what a great momentum builder going into this year with that type of experience, that type of leadership to be able to give to Coach Miller and these Bulldogs. And they're showing that there at this point as well.
Pimental comes into this one, averaging just over 70 yards per game. He has 7 scoring touchdowns. Now Nix looking to pass, a clean pocket over the middle, and a lot of traffic there. Could not fit it in to Aiden Lyon.
Oh, tough throw. You're going into double coverage, but the one thing with Eli is not stepping into that pass, just kind of throwing off his back foot is part of the reason why that ball may have come up a bit short. Like to see him kind of step into that, get hipped into it. But again, this will bring up 3rd down and 10 here.
A long 3rd down situation after you pick up a stop. Lapel had a quick 3 and out. The Heritage defense made their stop, forcing a turnover on downs. Pimental does get across the 50 for 4 yards, which you got to think that play probably means that Heritage Christian wants to go for it on 4th regardless of where they end up. It'll be 4th and 6.
It certainly looks like they're doing that. And Coach Miller also talked about, if they can get their opponents in that 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13, or that 3rd and 6 plus, that's what they want, and that's exactly what they got here. But it's 4th down.
At the Lapel 48, Nix. Just a 3-step drop, the out route right at the chain. Sloan caught it, went backwards, and now he's going forwards for a few more yards after the catch to the Lapel 32. 16 on the connection between Nix and Sloan.
Well, great job there by Andrew, is not only making the catch, which was already good for a 1st down, and then breaking the tackle. But I think it was much more of not so much with him breaking it as much as it was the Bulldogs not getting him wrapped up. Tried to make more of a hit or a contact in terms of shoulders and not wrapping the arms, but nonetheless results in a 1st down for the Eagles.
That's Sloan's 23rd catch on this season. They go back to the ground game. Pimental with just a little bit on the 1st down carry. 2 yards for Elijah. He's going to be hard to miss with the highlighter green cleats. Couple of guys sticking out, donning the pink. Now that we're in October, now we get a stoppage.
I got the helicopter view, though.
What's going on, Justin? Timeout.
Sky has some pink clouds also. The helicopter making its way into this packed stands, both ends.
That's where I'd like to see them go down the field a bit here, but
Pimental with the carry, following his pulling guard. That was Cooper Bradford trying to make away, but only a 1-yard gain this time.
I'll call it like 3rd and 7. You know, and Pimentel is one that certainly can hit you both sides. I mean, he's kind of what you look at in terms of his frame as being that edgy guy that can get to the outside. But he's one that is certainly fine and comfortable running between the tackles as well. But kind of a dual-type downhill and finesse runner.
Under 5 minutes in this opening quarter, and a deflection at the line. Lapel's defensive front getting back there. Jack Miller, one of those guys, not sure who deflected it, but it will bring up a 4th down situation, 7 to go.
Well, they had a similar situation about 4th and 6, 4th and 7 just a few plays ago, and were able to convert that and see if they'll come back here. I mean, you're probably pretty much all in a passing situation, I would think. Unless they're running a delayed draw, but you might look at Eli Nix to get out of the pocket here as both of these quarterbacks are dual threat and can hurt you with their feet as well.
Sloan, the motion man. They'll fake it to him. It's a flea flicker back to Nix. Wide open over the middle of the field. Caught. Touchdown, Heritage Christian.
Yeah, what a great aggressive call at this point. The running back kind of ran a little deeper than what you might think, got a little crowded, but it forced really Nix to get rid of it quick. Luckily, he had him open here as we get a replay on it. But great call.
Another look at it, 30 yards. Tyson Powell's got beyond that first line, that second line of defense. No one within about 5 or 6 yards of him.
It's always nice. I believe it is their homecoming. Am I correct with tonight's game, I believe?
I think you're right.
And what a great way to get on the board first against the number 3, an undefeated team in the state in Lapel.
A good start for the Eagles. The extra point is good. They lead it 7-0 over Lapel.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
A good start on their homecoming. There's the score. Heritage Christian 7-0 as they strike first. A 30-yard touchdown grab for Tyson Powell from Eli Nix. It looked like they were going to try to run it on 4th and 6 with Pimentel, but he flicks it back to Nix, who finds a wide-open Powell's down the middle of the field. A good start against this undefeated Lapel Bulldogs team. The kickoff back to Lapel, running up on it and fielding it at about the 10. Has some room to work with. A good return out to the 35. The Bulldogs will have good starting field position thanks to Mason Page.
Well, again, great return, about 30, 32 yards there by Mason. We saw earlier on the punt return. Really had a good return to get him good starting position on the positive side of the field. But here, again, good return that gets him out to their own 35. And what a great way for the Eagles to come out. Not only get a stop against number 3 team in the state on the first possession after getting stopped themselves, and then answer the call on the second with a score.
Man in motion. They'll go away from it with the give to Miller, and he finds an opening and a first down. Close to midfield, pushed out at the 48, but not after a pickup of 13.
Well, it might be a wake-up call here for the Bulldogs as well, see what they can do and answering what the Eagles just did by getting on the scoreboard first and coming out with the first play with their leading rusher.
Over 100 carries on the season for Miller, averaging 125 a game. Looking for more here on another first down carry. bulldozing his way across the 40 down to the 36-yard line.
Again, I believe that's good for another first down. See where they'll mark it here at the 36. Certainly, you see both teams too. Also, Jared playing the pace. You know, they're really kind of going some no huddle.
Bulldogs back up on the football. Craig working to his right, coming back middle of the field. A deep ball down the field, and it's caught. Touchdown, Lapel. It's Jackson Kripe, the junior. A quick answer on just the third play of the drive. The Bulldogs go 65 yards, and it ends up with Kripe in the end zone.
Well, great poise and patience and stepping into that one, too. I think, you know, you certainly had some pretty good coverage there by Garrett Taylor. He was right in position, but just couldn't make the play, and Jackson Kripe, one of their leading receivers, second on the team with that. But, again, what a not only an answer, but a quick one at that.
Heritage Christian got on the board first, but Lapel answers quickly. We're tied at 7 in the first quarter.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Hadn't seen much from the Lapel offense in that receiving core, which is led by a sophomore in Liam Coe. It's Jackson Kripe, though, this time, the junior, 36 yards. Got past his man and found the end zone to tie this thing up at 7 for Kripe. That's his 7th touchdown on the year, which leads the receiving core, and his 19th reception. Good for now, 200 yards on the season. Here's the return for Heritage Christian. It'll be good field position on their third drive at Lapel's 39-yard line. This first quarter of play is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors throughout Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give them a call at 317-849-0810. Also, BD Insurance, a company which understands your industry and what's on the line for you. Call Lance at 812-522-5640. So here is this third drive for Heritage. The starting field position has gotten better each time. Trying to get back-to-back scoring drives. Nix kind of flicks it forward to get it off. The head official is going to throw the penalty marker down. As if Nix would have gotten sacked, it would have been about a 9-yard loss. Instead, it looks like we'll have intentional grounding. Never mind.
I was going to say, him being out of the pocket, the ball made it back to the line of scrimmage. But he quickly picked that up. So, smart heads-up play by Eli, but that's what you might expect for a senior. Understanding the realm of what he was in, like you mentioned, not taking a sack and giving up the 9 yards and being at the line of scrimmage here at 38.
Talked about this rushing defensive line. Will Gilbert, one of those guys trying to get back to him, and now they will go after Pimentel and drop him for a 1-yard loss. Mason Kinnemer gets the tackle.
We talked earlier about the speed, and he's one of those guys there too. It's not only on the edge, but this front four does a great job in terms of hitting the gaps and really closing very well. But we saw it on the very first series with things laterally with their speed and being able to close for what appeared to be a gain.
Third down and 11 now. Two guys in the backfield with Nix, and they will both stay in to protect him as that rush comes after him again, and he throws it forward, nearly intercepted, batted down. Would have been an automatic pick six if he's able to squeeze that one and take it the other way. Isaiah Young. But there's that pass rush again from Lapel.
Yeah, and Young's their leading tackler, is averaging 11 tackles a game at the linebacker spot, and certainly showing some good agility coming after that ball, not only getting up to bat it down, but then also almost making his own interception off of it.
So here's the second punt of the evening coming from the Eagles. Looks to be a good one. Takes a Heritage Christian bounce. Kripe will stay away from it as it rolls down to the Lapel 22-yard line. Under 3 to play in this one. A good turnout on homecoming from the Heritage Christian faithful. And really can't ask for better weather, I think, in these early stages of the month of October.
I'll tell you, it was much like this last year that I recall. I think I did all but 1 week, and it was just beautiful weather each night, and it's been that way this year as well. So, and I'll tell you, hats off to the Heritage administration, the athletic director, just do a great job in promoting not only their extracurriculars but campus life in these games. Football has a way of just bringing the community out. So, hats off to them.
Lapel will start this drive with a run for Miller. And he is hit at the 26. Gain of 3 for Jack.
Well, good first down yardage, especially up the A gap. So did a really good job here of getting some good positive yards. I mean, if anytime you can get 4 plus on first down is a great positive.
Now the second down play. Passing situation here for Craig on the slant and through the hands of his intended target. That was Kripe.
Certainly one you got to have there. Certainly a well-placed ball. Might have not been exactly where they needed it, but you'll see here as, again, one that you got to have, especially when it's hitting you in the hands. Didn't have kind of had some soft coverage, but, again, makes it third down here.
Maybe another pass upcoming for Craig, who's just 2 of 3. Rolling out to his right again, will tuck it and run. Spins and moved forward past the line to gain. He was hit about 3 yards shy of the marker, and they will mark him down right at that chain, but there is a flag, as you can see.
And typically when it's in that area, it's usually holding. Usually when the play's prolonged a bit and the quarterbacks get out of the pocket, trying to make their second, sometimes third reads, sometimes just hard to hold those blocks that long, and you'll certainly try to see what you'll get out of that, but most of the time it ends with a penalty.
So the holding call pushes Lapel back to the 16. Craig comes back to the offense and relays the play on this 3rd down and 16. Three-step drop, rolls to his right again and slips and falls. He saw the pressure coming. 2 guys were there. Nowhere to go for Craig as he's dropped back to the 5.
I couldn't tell if it was, something he slipped or if it was one that he just intentionally saw the pressure and just went down. But, a little bit of difference of decision-making where you saw that with Nix, just the last possession with Heritage when he's out of the pocket and throws it away. But he just, gave up. Craig gave up probably about 10 or 11 there, and makes it a little tougher for his punter to be kicking in the end zone to where you think Heritage is going to have great field position to start.
Mark Gates, a senior, got back to him first. Before the punt, we get a whistle and a false start. So now it'll be even more difficult to get this punt off. Doing the punting duties is Will Gilbert.
Well, now you're in a position, Jared, to where it's a short snap. I mean, normally these are 15 yards, and now you're at best maybe 10.
At the 2.5-yard line, Heritage brings some heat, but Gilbert gets it off as quick as he can, calling for the fair catch at the 41. Heritage Christian has good field position coming up for Pimentel. I was going to say, I think that's Pimentel, but he looks like he changed his cleats. He's got some red kicks on instead of the bright green. We'll see if that makes a difference. He's had a decent first quarter of play so far with his 7 carries and just shy of 30 yards.
Well, either he didn't like the look of him or maybe his sponsor didn't, one of the two. But nonetheless, he's rocking the pink ones now. Or we'll call him fuchsia, who knows?
Yeah, it's pretty close, probably closer to pink. Nix on first down.
Nice move.
Finds an opening and slides past the first down marker to the Lapel 29. Good vision by Nix, and that's what he's pretty good at. A dual threat quarterback, one of the better ones in all of Class 2A.
Yeah, I mean, he's leading their team in rushing, and what a great job, too, of coming up the A-gap there and really putting his foot in the ground to make the defense commit and then bouncing to the outside. Really did a good job there. And then smart move by avoiding the hit and taking the slide. Knew he already had the positive yards, knew he had the first down, and play it safe and be protected for the next play.
Heritage will not run another play before the end of this first quarter. A lot of offense, a lot of quick drives, a 7-7 tie as we head to quarter number 2.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
A 7-7 tie entering quarter number 2, flipping sides of the field. Craig Cox is here. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks for tuning in. Week 7 of Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN. Heritage Christian riding a 3-game win streak after wins over Covenant Christian, Greenwood Christian, and Ritter, all in their conference, the Indiana Crossroads. As Nix starts the quarter with a quarterback keeper up the middle, about to the 25, just shy at the 26.
One again, Heritage is one that, as we mentioned earlier, loves the ball control, loves the run. They do some things through the air, but they definitely highly prefer the run to kind of wear you down, beat you up, so to speak. Great field position after getting the stop defensively with the punt for the Bulldogs from their own end zone.
Slow in the motion man. Nix wants to throw. He will. To his left, back of the end zone. Looked like he had it for a moment, but Lyon can't bring it down. Yeah. Definitely the tallest receiver on this Heritage offense and a deep ball threat.
Yeah, and certainly one ball was placed well, as we'll see it here. Just kind of a go route, if you will. Had it in his hands, and then after he had it, then the defensive player did a good job of breaking it up, but certainly one that Aiden, I know, would love to have back there, and a little missed opportunity, but another one here.
The pitch to Pimentel. His first carry with the new cleats at the 21, so a gain of 4. It'll be 4th down and about 3.
I got to say, back in my days, we didn't have cleats like this, but you had the one pair, and that was it. You never had an extra pair on the sideline. We're in this day and age of the shoe game. where it's like, hey, I got backup cleats, or, going halftime, you got a third pair. But nonetheless, he's recleated and ready to go as they get a little bit of hard count and get him off sides here.
Boy, from our vantage point, that couldn't have been.
That might be a first down.
More,
I think.
it is.
Oh, wow.
It was about 4th and 3. Going with the hard count, and Lapel fell for it. That's their 3rd penalty tonight. So we're in the first 2 minutes of this second quarter. New set of downs at the Lapel 16. Heritage Christian was able to score on a 9-play drive. The second time they had the football. Pressure from Lapel. A ball back into that corner again, trying to hit up with Lyon. He's got the height advantage against the DB back there, Mason Page.
It looked like maybe a little bit of communication piece where I think Eli felt he was running more of a corner fade there, being in the back of the end zone where he placed it, and Aiden stopped short, more on like a 15-yard dig. But nonetheless, come up unsuccessful, but just second down. 10, still get a first down around the 5, but second down here.
Empty backfield. Nix setting up the screen. They throw it to Sloan. Sloan had some space to work with, but it was closed quickly. He's getting tackled by Page and company at the Lapel 15. He got past the 15 to the 13.
Yeah, he got some positive yards. Would have loved to see him hit the high side and get out of that, but he saw the crease and looked to go with that, but certainly had a seal on the inside to get more to the outside to where it was less coverage. But nonetheless, brings up third down and a manageable 6-7 yards.
Widen out just a little bit quicker on those huddles so we can see a bit more of the picture.
Pimentel moves in motion. Back to an empty backfield. And pressure again. Nix has to just get rid of it as Jack Miller came flying through to try and bring him down for a pretty big sack and may have pushed Heritage Christian out of field goal range.
Well, I love the call. It's third, and Coach talked about that. Hey, we want to get them in 3rd and 6 or 6+, and that's exactly what they had there, and ran the blitz. And you're doing that, obviously, to put the quarterback in a position to make decisions quicker than they would like. And here you're going to get a loss of down, brings up 4th down from a standpoint of the intentional grounding.
Yep, this time they do call the grounding against Nix.
Could have potentially kicked a field goal where they were at, but certainly not now with the penalty. Brings it up 4th and about 20.
May have gone for it altogether with 4th and 6, about the 13-yard line. Instead, they're pushed back all the way to the 30.
Now, this is where you might get a little pooch kick here by Nix as well. We'll see if they actually run it or if they play the field position.
He's standing at his normal distance. It's another flea flicker. Back to Nix, and it's batted down. Nix couldn't get the pass off. It worked a couple of drives ago, but not this time. Back there for the Bulldogs, Ben Peterson. Got his big hand up there, knocked it away.
Well, the Bulldogs are saying, hey, first time, shame on you. Second time, it's not going to happen. So they played that well and read it.
So a turnover on downs. Heritage Christian had put together a pretty good drive.
9:18 on the clock.
This drive for Lapel will start with a little over 9 minutes to go in our first half. From the 30. Craig on the give to Miller. Left side off tackle. Shy of the 40. Nearly another first down on a first down play. They have seen pretty good success with those first down running attempts, giving it to Miller.
No, great job there by Jack. I mean, really hitting the outside again, getting his foot in the ground, selling the defense to hit to the edge, and then making the cutback there to come up the gap to get 9 out of that. So great positive yard on first down.
They'll go back to Miller and back towards the left. He stays patient, finds a crease across midfield. Inside the 30, tackled finally at the 26. but not after a massive gain. The biggest play so far tonight for the Lapel offense.
Well, what you got here was just more of a hesitation. Did a great job there of just waiting for his block, showed great patience to where he saw the seam that he wanted, and then he hit it downhill for a great game of about 30.
And now they get the play from the sideline as they're already at the Eagles' 25. Keeping it with Miller. This time they'll go right, and this time he's tripped up in the backfield for no gain. Credit the tackle to Heritage Christian's Justice Klingerman.
This is the previous play from before. Again, hit the outside, waiting for his block, and then getting downhill. Did a really good job there. And then coming back on the next play with the Eagles, giving them no gains for 2nd and 10 here from their own 25.
It's actually a gain of 35 on the carry for Miller. Now they'll pass it. Craig on the out route connects to his tight end Stowe, who is tackled at the legs right at the 18. So this will be 3rd and 3. Heritage Christian working in a couple of substitutions before this big 3rd down play. Stowe's second catch, both times they've gone for 7. They'll go back to Miller here. They like that left side. The defense was ready for it, though, as, again, on the tackle for Heritage Christian was Klingerman.
Well, excuse me, Justice is leading their team in tackles. He's a guy that gets moved around. Sometimes he's up on the line. Sometimes he's a linebacker. Plays a little bit of offensive line as well. Is really a hard-nosed kid. Does some great reading and really shoots gaps really well.
The 4th down play. Craig looking somewhere. Looking for a flag maybe, but it falls incomplete. The Bulldogs opting not to kick it. Not sure what their field goal situation is like, but the Heritage Christian defense this time, they bend, they don't break, they give it back to their offense.
Well, certainly great, interesting, call, but certainly one that Heritage took advantage of to take over on downs here, starting in very much negative territory as far as field position, but really good job of them of sustaining that the Bulldogs drive there.
The second quarter is brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. They represent highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication across the state. Whether it's a new build, upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Local 374 to get the job done right the first time. The Eagles offense back out there. They'll pitch it to Pimental, and he starts left, brings it back in between the hashes, and tripped up. That would have been possibly a touchdown-saving tackle made by Lapel. Instead, Pimental brings things out to the 27.
Well, good job there by Elijah. Obviously, that play was designed to go left, and Lapel did a great job of setting the edge and reading that, and Elijah actually made a cutback to get about 9 out of that. So great move there, and brings up 2nd and 1. And this is really a drive here that not only Heritage needs to set before halftime, but one that they would love to control the clock before the break comes.
They fake to the motion man. Nix will have an easy first down across the 30 to the 31. Gain of 5. That mixture of Nix, we've seen what he's able to do with his arm, but now showing his running ability with these designed draws and quarterback keepers. You add in Elijah Pimental. That's a really good balanced attack for Heritage Christian. One of the reasons why they're averaging over 30 points a game this season. Pimental again. On first down, he has a 5.
Yeah, another great first down possession there, getting almost 4, if not 5, out of that. So sitting well here. Clock's running. This is the type of football, the ground and pound that they're looking for and trying to wear you down. Certainly probably a tougher thing to do with Lapel. They're conditioned well, got great experience and great poise, if you will, but brings up second and about 5, we'll call it here.
3 receivers towards the near side. Nix looking that way, but not a whole lot of time to throw, so he's forced to tuck it and run. He has the edge down the sideline and flipping forward for a first down across midfield.
That's one there that you had the hit that you had on the return. As we see Eli tiptoeing the sideline here, but I think it looked as quite a haul. Took the brunt of that, kind of came up holding his arm a bit. But great job there by Eli, keeping the ball in bounds, keeping that clock going, getting positive yards, moving the chains. They're in positive side of the field now at the Lapel 45.
This time they won't go with the hard count. They had that similar look where they picked up the first down after Lapel jumped. It's Nix on the sneak, and actually not too often you see a 4-yard gain on a quarterback sneak. They're at the 41 now of Heritage Christian. Heritage Christian at the 41 of Lapel.
So we got a little over 3.5 left here in the second quarter. Heritage driving, very impressive drive. This started out quite a bit back in their own territory after getting a stop.
Pimental with a couple of moving offensive linemen, and he's moving some defenders with him for a gain that's close to, actually it's enough. Got to the 31.
Well, there's been 7 plays, I believe, on this drive, if I'm not mistaken, and they've all been runs. Some by design, and then there was a keeper by Nix that got him one of the 3 first downs that they've gotten to this point. But doing a really good job. The guys up front in the trenches creating the holes, and then these backers, along with Nix, making things happen with their feet.
The offensive line creating some holes for Pimental this first half. Nix, dangerous pass as he felt the heat again and looked like was trying to hook up with Powell's.
I really like to see in those situations where he's dropping back, he's in the pocket, he's staying poised, but when you start to see the pocket collapse a little bit, just really surprised, especially on that play where Eli's not trying to get out of the pocket at that point and trying to make something happen and maybe even potentially getting into his second read. And if not, tucking it and going, because I think that he can certainly have some success there. But nonetheless, didn't get anything there on first down, brings up 2nd and 10.
The Bulldogs now have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. They'll pitch it to Pimental. Can't get the edge, and there was nothing as he was making his way, or at least trying to, back towards the middle of the field, tackled for a loss of 4.
And I think that if they can get anything around the 15-yard line, obviously need about 20 yards of that, approaching there at 2 minutes, but they will look to maybe get a field goal.
Timeout on the field called by the Bulldogs. We'll step aside, too, as we're tied 7-7 late in the second.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
Your kid's Friday night touchdown. Just Wit HD on Roku. IndianaSRN is bringing Central Indiana high school sports right to your living room in crystal clear quality. With over 350 live contests streaming each year, from football under the lights to basketball buzzer beaters, we're putting local athletes in the spotlight. Search IndianaSRN on your Roku device today and never miss a moment of hometown glory.
Lapel calls their first timeout to stop the clock at 2:22 in this second quarter. Heritage Christian facing a 3rd down and 14.
I got him again.
That's the second time Lapel has jumped off sides, handing Heritage Christian a free 5 yards, so now it'll bring up 3rd down and 9. This first half of action on IndianaSRN brought to you by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper Logistics have been trusted partners for inventory management, warehousing, fulfillment, and transportation. Ride with us. Call Piper Logistics at 317-396-1023. Eagles have it at the 30. They'll give it to Pimental, who is wrapped up and tackled by Young. Not sure if Pimental even got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, and that was tackle technique there. I mean, not only making the contact with the shoulder, but wrapping the arms. It's a reason why Isaiah is the leading tackler for this Bulldog defense.
So Young has that tackle. The one that dropped Pimental for a loss was Evan Borkowski for Lapel. So now this will bring up a 4th down situation for Heritage Christian. Lapel calls their second timeout, trying to get the stop here and go down to the other end of the field and pick up some points before the half. This first half is also brought to you by Dynamark Graphics Group. Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services, serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Call them at 317-328-2555. There's 2:10 left to go in this second quarter. And with a stop here, actually they'll try the field goal. So
47 yards. That's a good shot for high school. So
from the 37, so a 47-yard attempt for the Heritage kicker. Snap is low, and the kick is blocked. Not sure it would have been a clean kick anyways for Heritage Christian, as it is blocked at the line of scrimmage. Isaac Pimental trying it from 47. Lapel actually sent a guy back there just in case it was short or wide, but it doesn't matter. So Lapel will actually get the football in better position than maybe they would have thought originally.
Well, and if we recall, too, they won the coin toss and deferred like most do. So they got an opportunity to double dip here, Jared. I mean, if they got some clock to work with. Still got 1 timeout left, pretty decent field position, and this is a team that's pretty explosive, can make some things happen. So if they can get a score here and get the ball to start second.
Faking the pass after handing off to Miller, who only gets back to the line of scrimmage. Bulldogs will work even quicker than normal. They're usually a fast-paced offense. They got 4 receivers out there. 3 of them are to the right. Craig giving out orders on the second down play with about a minute and a half to go. Throws towards the sideline, caught just past the sticks, and signaling for that first down, Jackson Kripe, his second catch tonight.
Well, great job of not only the route running, but also having a sense of awareness of where that sidelines was to get the ball out of bounds, past the chains to be able to move them and stop the clock.
Clock stops at 1:37. So plenty of time for Lapel and that 1 timeout. At the Heritage Christian side of the field, Craig, a clean pocket, down the sideline. 2 guys are down there. One of them brings it down. It's Kripe again. Hauls this one at the 20. Gain of 29. As the clock will start to wind when the chains get set on this first down. They're at 90 seconds.
And this is a situation you don't have to be in a big hurry. You got 1 timeout, and a minute and a half is a lot of time.
So they'll hand it off to Miller, who's trying to get to that sideline. He does not get out of bounds.
Which is certainly, again, it's okay. You want to, if you do happen to score, you want to try to have the minimal amount of time for the Eagles to work with before half. So plenty of time. You want to stay poised here. You got quite a bit of time, and you got the timeout to use at any point when you need to stop it.
Under a minute. Craig rolling to his left, and we'll just toss this one out of bounds. Good defense in the back end for Heritage Christian, so that'll stop the clock at the moment. 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Well, good job there by Heritage. Staying home, digging in, understanding their responsibilities and coverage, and didn't have much of an option. So Devin did the right thing of just chucking the ball out of bounds, and they got 3rd to work with, and probably more than likely 4-down territory.
Timeout called by Heritage Christian. They have 3 to use, so they will burn one here to talk things over before this 3rd down play. We'll step aside, be back in a minute.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through, from coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
Back after Heritage Christian called a timeout. 47 seconds on the clock. Lapel trying to pick up some points before the half. Craig, flush to his left. Dangerous pass, nearly intercepted.
Yeah, just, there's been a couple occasions with Nix and now with Craig as well. These are 2 quarterbacks that are dynamic with their feet as well. And just surprised when their receivers are covered well and that they're not trying to come upfield a bit more and trying to get positive yards with their feet. And but nonetheless brings up 4th down, and they'll keep their unit on the field and not electing for the field goal.
That was Sloan who...
Timeout here again.
He has a couple of catches offensively. Defensively, they're making the play. Another timeout called by Heritage Christian. We'll keep things right here before this 4th down and 6 for Lapel. First half action brought to you also by Riskwork. We make people feel safe. We protect your business so you live safe. We've got it covered. Call Riskwork today at 317-379-6755. Also, Laborers International Union of North America, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages and benefits, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. We are LIUNA. So after the blocked field goal, it was a 47-yard attempt coming from Isaac Pimental. Blocked by Lapel. They start with good field position, and in just a couple of plays, they were already into Heritage Christian territory inside the red zone, which they are here at the 16. But this is a big one.
It is, and only need to get to the 10 to get a new set of downs. Still got some time left to work with, and still have used their timeout as Heritage has taken 2 on back-to-back plays.
Craig, 3-step drop, hitch route, connects. That's Kripe, and that route has worked a couple of times with Jackson getting to the sticks, getting past the sticks, rather, by 1 or 2 yards at least. With that bubble, that distance between him and the DB.
Yeah, and well executed there. I mean, the ball's, it's good, chemistry between the receiver and the quarterback there, running the route, little hitch, and being in a position where it's kind of back shoulder, if you will, and the ball's already in the air before he's actually at the top of his route. So really good job there, and getting him a new set of downs here at the 7.
First and goal, 36 seconds. The handoff to Miller. He has a hole towards the left side. Tackled at the 4.
No need for a timeout here. You got, again, time, run your next play, and then use it after this one if you don't score.
At 20 seconds now, Craig will pass this time. Rolling to his right after looking left initially and just off the fingertips of his intended target. That was Andrew Ivello, who we have not called his name yet tonight. Up until that point, that'll stop the clock with third down, coming up from the 5.
And still got that timeout. So again, still have an opportunity. I think if you don't get it here, you almost, I don't know their kicking situation either, but when you're this close, you're thinking you're going into half, you got to almost take the points if you don't score here because you get the ball to start the second. But see how this plays out here on third down.
Moving a couple of guys around. Craig rolling out to his right, middle of the field, back of the end zone, a sliding grab. Jackson Kripe.
I was going to say, who else?
Touchdown, Lapel. They take their first lead of the game. The undefeated Bulldogs are now on top, and they do it with just seconds left in this first half.
Well, this Kripe young man has certainly showed his ability to create separation, as we'll see the replay here. Starting out on the weak side and just coming across the field, almost into double coverage. Does a great job of sitting down, getting on the ball, focusing on that ball all the way into his hands, which you love to see your receivers do, and putting 6 on the board, which is huge. We talked about before the possession started, double dipping. Well, they got the first part of it.
This is LifeWise Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
During Army basic training, I found out I had 7 herniated discs. Prescription pain medication led me to a heroin addiction. I entered Wheeler's program and learned life on God's terms.
After meeting Greg, I was so impressed, I hired him. When you change that one life, it makes it all worthwhile.
Now, I have a family, house, and a job that I love. At Wheeler, you can have something everlasting.
The Bulldogs have their first lead tonight after the 5-yard touchdown grab by Jackson Kripe. His 5 catches are good for 90 first-half yards. He has become the go-to guy for quarterback Devin Craig. There's only one other guy with receptions so far tonight, and that's the tight end Griffin Stowe. Kripe has 5 of the 7 completions. There's 7 seconds left in this first half. Heritage Christian will fall on it at the 30, and we'll see what they decide to do with one final play before the first half comes to a close.
Well, when talked to Coach Miller earlier in the week, talked about, we have, 5 legitimate receivers that we can throw at you. And again, we talked about how there's not great strength in their statistics, but they do spread it around a lot. And Kripe, out of the top 3, is actually 3rd in yards per game with only 33, and he's tripled that tonight with over 90. But he is leading the team in terms of reception touchdowns with 6. So certainly a bright spot for the Bulldogs as they will take it to half here, being up 14-7.
The Eagles take a knee, and that will do it for the first half from Heritage Christian. The Eagles did score first, 30-yard touchdown grab by Tyson Powles, and then an answer by Jackson Kripe. His first touchdown was from 36 on a strike from the quarterback Craig, and then the 5-yard grab right before the end of the half, and that one is big because, one, it kind of just builds up some momentum for you. It makes you feel a lot better about your offense and gives your defense a little bit more to work with. And also, like you said just a bit ago, Craig, they're double dipping. They're going to get the football to start the second half, and another score by the Bulldogs. This is a team that, with the way their defense has played so far this season, if they have any sort of advantage, I think you can feel pretty good. You can count on them to hold that advantage the rest of the way out.
You do, but I think also if you're Coach Brink and the staff with Heritage, I think you also still got to feel good. There's some things that they need to clean up. There's no doubt on a few drives that stalled for them, especially the last one when they were really running the ball so well and controlling the clock, and then a couple penalties obviously pushed them back. But other than that, I think you still got to feel good going against the number 3 team in the state. I think you're down 1 score. You got to come out and stop them on this first drive, just like you did at the start of the game. But certainly one that's still very much in either team's control.
Yeah, I think both teams have some things to feel good about as we head towards the second half. The Heritage Christian defense, though, will be called on to try and prevent this from becoming a 2-score game. 14-7, we're at halftime, and homecoming festivities about to get underway from Heritage Christian. We'll step aside. We'll come back with some numbers from this first half of play and also some scores from the Indiana Crossroads Conference and as well as Central Indiana and the Indianapolis area. This is Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
Fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
Poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew. Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh main lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine. Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay. Yum. Enjoy. Thank you. Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
High school sports offer the best opportunities to represent your community and yourself.
Playing alongside your friends and in front of your family makes it that much more important.
No matter the circumstances or the setting.
Honor your teammates, fans, and opponents with your best effort.
Make sure those around you are doing the same.
Be supportive and aware of your surroundings.
Enjoy every minute of practice, preparation, and playing.
Your conduct, actions, and character are a reflection of your sportsmanship values.
Do not allow winning and losing to prevent you from respecting your opponent,
respecting the game, and representing your community. With good sportsmanship, winning takes care of itself. You may not remember the game or the final score,
But you will remember your teammates and your opponents.
Be remembered for being a good sport.
Sportsmanship makes high school sports so very different from any other level of sport.
Being a good sport means always respecting your opponent by playing hard, respecting the game by honoring the rules, and respecting yourself by giving your best effort at all times.
That is true sportsmanship.
Be remembered for exhibiting the qualities of a winner and display good sportsmanship. This message is brought to you by the IHSAA Student Advisory Committee.
It's halftime at Heritage Christian High School, and the new scoreboard showing off the King and Queen nominees from each of the grades as homecoming festivities are underway at Heritage Christian High School. There's your score, 14-7. 2A, number 3, an undefeated Lapel leads things. 2 touchdown receptions for Jackson Kripe, the junior. He has 5 catches to go with 90 yards. 2 of those catches were for 30 yards or more. He's one of those guys, Craig, real quick, if he has the football in space, we can see that he can make some plays, and he has that speed, he has that quickness to him to make guys miss. I haven't really seen him show off that ability, but we can just tell. It's been a lot of hitch routes, a lot of just quick hitters to him and seeing what he can do, and then also posing as that deep ball threat. But when he has that football, he's fairly dangerous, and like we said already, he has those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's one that, again, we talked about, numbers, and he's third in terms of yards per game, but he also is their leader in terms of touchdowns, and you see why. But they just got great, syncing between him and Devin Craig in terms of how their the route running is, and just knowing where he needs to be. There's been some things that you've seen vertical. That was the first touchdown, was about 40, 45 yards. But there has been about 4 or 5 of those other plays have been more of the hitches and just kind of chain movers, if you will. I think there was 3 first downs that he had on the last 2 drives, and then, of course, capped it off with the score before half. So certainly one that can beat you both vertical and in the short field as well.
He's just one of 2 guys that have catches so far tonight from Devin Craig. Griffin Stowe, the tight end, has the 2 others for 14 yards. Devin Craig, that makes him 7 of 10 for 104, taking care of the football. Hasn't felt the heat, I think, as much as Eli Nix has on the other end. That pass rush from Lapel has been good all season, and it's been good so far here tonight, just letting off that 1 long drive for Heritage Christian had the touchdown. The rest of the offense for Lapel, 9 carries for the junior running back Jack Miller, 84 yards, so just under 10 yards a carry for Jack. And that's the rest of the offense. Devin Craig has 1 carry for 1 yard, the rest of the offense there for Lapel. On the other side for Eli Nix and company, a little bit of a different story. With Nix through the air, he's completed 4 of his 12 passes for 50 yards. And it's really been that pass rush that we've talked about, getting to him, putting the heat on him, not making things easy, and actually forcing him to either have to get outside of the pocket and try to extend the play or step up in the pocket. Will Gilbert, Ben Peterson, Evan Borkowski, and Mason Kinnemer, pretty good 4-man front line for Lapel.
No, they've had some good pressure up front. They've had 2 or 3 blitzes. 2 of those were, really great calls on 3rd down to try to hurry up Eli. Nix has had certainly 1, if not maybe 2, good runs out of the pocket, but certainly not doing quite as much as what he is accustomed to with his legs. But I think that's was part of the game plan coming tonight from Coach Miller and the Bulldogs.
The rest of the offense now for Heritage Christian. Nix on the ground has shown some signs. His 6 carries for 44 yards. Elijah Pimental, the usual workhorse, 13 for 48. Nix has been able to connect with Andrew Sloan 3 times for 20 yards, and then Tyson Powell's had the 1 catch, which was, of course, the 30-yard touchdown back in the first quarter to get the scoring started. But not much going since then. Heritage Christian has punted twice. They turned the ball over on downs when they had it deep in Lapel territory as well. They had that intentional grounding call that put them out of field goal range. Frankly, it didn't because they tried the field goal they tried the field goal later, and it was blocked from 47 yards out, the attempt for Pimentel. So the Heritage Christian offense will try to look to get that mojo back that they had on that second drive that went 9 plays, and with Tyson Powell's. I think the offensive line, you would probably say, has to step up just a little bit. And we've seen a couple times, too, they've put 2 running backs in the backfield trying to protect Nix as much as they can so he can get a clean pass off.
Well, I mean, I think the D-line of Lapel has certainly caused its trouble tonight for the offensive line for Heritage. And I think whether it's double tight ends or putting 2 backs in the system, I certainly to add some protection time certainly might be key. But give credit, again, for Heritage plugging away, staying in there. Obviously, you had Lapel that scored in the last, 10 seconds or so. So, I mean, they're hanging in there tight. Certainly a good game, as we promised. We thought both these teams being 30-point scores or 30-plus. Lapel, I think, is averaging 35, and Heritage is 37. So these are teams that can put points on the board, but they're also showing that they can play defense, and that's about complementary football. So I don't think that it's one of either of these teams that is lacking. I just think that both of them are playing solid football. I think Heritage just needs to shore up on a few things to try to maybe get a little bit more of their run game established if they can to open up the passing.
Yeah, Pimentel has the majority of the carries with 13 to Nix's 6. Would want to get the run game going. Lyon has not hauled in a catch. Nix has looked his way a couple of times, but unable to connect. Heritage Christian is also without Chase Wallen in the offense tonight. He did play last week, but out with an injury, so one of the guys that they are missing for that offense. We'll step aside again. We'll come back and give you some of those scores from across the state and throughout central Indiana. Halftime from Heritage Christian on IndianaSRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you can be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey sports fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. Bye, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the...
There's your halftime score. Heritage Christian trailing Lapel 14-7 with Craig Cox. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Just a couple of minutes. They'll have the 4 on the clock, and then they'll add a couple more as the teams make their way back out onto the field. Other games across the state are at halftime as well. Our game on IndianaSRN is also at our other game with Indian Creek and Triton Central also at the half. Craig, you have that score and a couple of others.
Yeah, so obviously just leading off on our other game that we're bringing you tonight with SRN is Indian Creek down to Triton at half 14-7. HSE on top of Noblesville 24-0. Pike over Guerin currently 14-7. Brebeuf putting it all over Tech 35-3. In what could be the MIC championship game tonight between Warren Central and Lawrence North. Warren's up big on that 35-14. Carmel over Ben Davis 23-0. Chittard leading Harrison by 1 score at 24-17. Got one deadlocked with LC and North Central. The Bears and the Panthers going at it 7-7. Franklin Central and Fishers also locked up at 14s. Got another Hoosier Crossroads game with Westfield over Avon 24-14. Lutheran putting it all on Greenwood Christian at 44-0 right now. And the Hornets over Speedway 8-0. New Powell over Shelbyville 35-3. A little bit of a surprise is number 1 6A Brownsburg only up 1 7-6 on Zionsville. And then Cathedral 8-0 over Center Grove right now. So, Jared, I don't know if there's any others that you might have throughout the state as well, but that's some games that are going on around our area.
Did you mention the Decatur Central score? They are throttling Greenwood 55-7. That's one game. Danville and Lebanon tied at 14 at the half. In the Indiana Crossroads Conference, Lutheran is dominating Greenwood Christian. That score 51-0 at halftime. And we'll check some of the scores as the night goes on. We got a pretty close one here. You see this scoreboard too, and a lot of those big schools that you mentioned early on with Brownsburg and Zionsville, a lot of ranked teams and Class 5A and 6A. Really some good games tonight in Week 7.
No, there is. I remember our son went to Zionsville, and I remember in 21 it was that was actually in 20. Yeah, when they played Brownsburg in the regular season and got throttled by by 38 or 40, and then we played them in the sectionals 2 weeks later, and Zionsville beat them, went to the state championship that year against Cathedral. But it reminds me of that, seeing them playing each other tonight, but being a 7-6 score. But, we talk about, this game in Week 7, and we're in a position where we're 9 days away from sectional draw. And it's just like this season has just flown by, and it's a great opportunity here for these young men to and coaching staffs to really, again, be fine-tuning, making certain adjustments, knowing that there's a couple weeks left before they can get after it and play for a state championship. And, it's you have other states around us in Illinois and Michigan, Ohio, I'm not sure about Kentucky, that all you have to qualify, to get to the playoffs, and not the case here in Indiana. And, there will be a lot of people argue that our way's the right way, but I guess I'm a little biased being here. But I love the opportunity where everybody, gets to go. I would like it to be seeded. I would like to see that even in basketball as well. But at the same time, it's not. But I do like the fact that everyone gets to go and have an opportunity to play for a championship. And we got one here tonight in Lapel being 6-0 that's won 2 of their last 3 and trying to get 3 of their last 4 this year with Coach Miller, and they're the odds-on favorite to do that. And Heritage certainly will have something to say with their sectional as well.
And last year it was Lapel who beat Triton Central in that sectional championship 27-17 before falling to Lutheran in the regional. Similar story in the 22 season, and that was not one of Coach Miller's better teams. They had lost 5 regular season games, but still went on to win the sectional championship, beat this Heritage Christian team by 1 point, 21-20, and then fell again in the regional. So 2 of the last 3 years, Coach Miller's ball club able to figure things out and capture sectional championships. This offense has looked better this year compared to previous years. They've had 3 games where they've scored 41 points or more this season, and that closest one that we mentioned in the pregame against that pretty good Indian Creek team, which is a class above Lapel and Heritage Christian, 29-26. The Bulldogs got that win. But for Heritage Christian, even though they have this 4-2 record, those 2 losses are by very thin margins, just by field goals or less. And so they very well could easily be 6-0, just like Lapel. And they'll have a tough one following this game, too. They will be at Indianapolis Lutheran. That's an Indiana Crossroads Conference game. Lutheran is 5-1 so far this year. So a lot of good football being played tonight and left to be played in this regular season before we have that sectional draw, as you mentioned, about a week and a half from now.
Yeah, and, the other thing I'd like to say, too, is, certainly a big shout-out to Coach Caleb Brink. And, I think, Kyle Ray did such a fantastic job, and he's a great human being. Got a chance to know him a bit, in covering the games and having coaches interviews, just a really class guy. And as he stepped away on his own, and then they bring in Caleb Brink out of state from Holland, Michigan. And, they were very strategic in who they wanted in their place and how they run their athletics, certainly at Heritage, and certainly appears to be a great fit. But, those are big shoes to fill, and it's always tough to take over a new program, and you're trying to sell, what your philosophy is and what your culture is and what you're trying to promote. And he's got great buy-in from these kids and doing a great job at 4-2. And like you said, could very easily be 6-0. So kudos to not only the decision for Heritage and the administration and bringing a man like Caleb Brink in, but for the job that he's doing.
The kickoff to start this second half from Heritage Christian into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, and Lapel will begin things at the 20. This game last year went Heritage Christian's way. They won it 40-21. Able to put up a couple of touchdowns in that game. A little bit of a different offense. A very senior-led team is this Heritage Christian squad, but a few guys from that offense last year not back. It'll be the defense to start things off, and a tackle that'll limit the Jack Miller run to about 3 yards. Over to the 23-yard line. Miller in that first half. 9 carries for 84. Craig all day to throw a deep ball. He beats his man, and he catches it at the 40. Tackled down to the 32-yard line. Lapel reception to Reed Hamilton. He's just the 3rd different guy to haul in a pass from Craig tonight, and that one goes all the way down to the Heritage 32.
Oh, great job there by Craig to see that, and obviously getting great leverage on the receiver to getting beyond his corner and getting on the top layer and being able to hit the strike.
It's a 45-yard pickup. Back to the ground game with Miller towards the far sideline and pushed out of bounds. Does pick up a first down. Another one of those first down carries where it's already a new set of downs picked up by Miller.
Well, obviously hitting the big strike with the pass. Got a first down, first run as well, and certainly moving the ball and love if you're Coach Miller coming out of the half after the score before half and moving the ball on 2 plays, and now here they're striking the end zone.
Craig looking towards Craig. That would have been the hat trick. Looking towards Kripe, I should say, as that one falls incomplete.
Well, you'd like to, as good as Kripe is on the outside, especially when he's on an island by himself, you like his ability to go up and get that, certainly against the smaller DB. Might have been a little bit underthrown, but you certainly trust Jackson to get those 50-50 balls, or the jump balls, if you will. But that was one that was unsuccessful. 2nd and 10 here, again, from the Eagle 22.
Bulldogs don't have necessarily a tall receiver. Split out. 2nd and 10. Kripe checks out for the moment. They'll go back to Miller on the ground, trying to go up the middle, but nothing doing. Immediately met and tackled by Cormac Lemons.
Well, doing a good job there. And they did primarily in the last 2 drives, the Eagle defense really in the A-gaps, if you will. It's been things that either have been on the edge or things where they've been misdirection, going one way and hitting another, kind of on not necessarily broken plays, but perhaps a bit. But have done a good job here in the A-gap.
Kripe looking to pass again. Clean pocket, rolls to his left, throws back towards the middle, back to the end zone, caught. Touchdown, the 3rd passing touchdown tonight for the quarterback.
Like Braden Parsley.
Devin Craig, and he does connect with Braden Parsley. The senior has his first catch, and it's from 22 yards out.
And we'll see the replay here. Single coverage on the outside, top of your screen here. Just kind of hits pretty much a post route and threw the hands up, led him well, and the Heritage corner just couldn't make the close, and they get 6 out of it. And so the double dip has been confirmed now before half, and now they're first in the second.
It's 21-7 now, Lapel in this 3rd quarter.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw.
Boy, what a stick, huh?
Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
So it's Braden Parsley who puts up the 3rd receiving touchdown tonight. He also had the long one from Craig that went for 45 and set them up in good position in Heritage Christian territory, and then follows things up with the 22-yard catch to make it 21-7 Lapel.
Oh, onside.
They go for the onside kick, and it's recovered by the Bulldogs. It goes past the 50. The head coach of Heritage Christian pleading with the official.
It clearly went to 10. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, we're flashing a lot right now.
And, what a big, almost reminds you of the New Orleans Colts Super Bowl. Come out and get the first score and then the onside kick. Obviously typically don't see that. Doesn't look like anybody touched it. He touched it 11, if not 12 yards past. So I'm not sure what Coach Brink or the other, whatever coach that might be, but that's clearly it's interesting on the spot, though. They mark it at the 50, but he clearly had that at the 48. But nonetheless, aggressive play call.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to talk about Parsley as well, he's a senior. Coach Miller talked about how they have like 5 deep. Parsley only had 5 catches for 52 yards, and out of those 2 catches, he has more on those 2 catches than the season. So it shows you the depth.
We've called Kripe's name a lot, and now Craig wants to go deep down the field, and that's going to be a penalty. And there is Parsley again. He wears 29. Pass interference called on the Heritage Christian DB. We'll get a number here soon, but you have the touchdown, you have the onside kick, everything's working in your favor. Why not take another shot?
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly aggressive, and they're seeing something with Parsley. Obviously, he had the 40-yard reception, then he had the 22-yard reception touchdown. They go right back to him on a play 40, so he's getting down vertical over the top of these corners and creating some havoc, and so they like the matchup that they're seeing, and they're trying to take advantage of it, and it's certainly working.
So the pass interference will now put Lapel at the 35.
Got single coverage on him again, even though it is a different corner at the top of your screen.
Ground game with Miller, and he is plowed into the turf. Big tackle by Klingerman.
That's stonewalled right there, the senior Justice Klingerman.
I believe they got Dejon Means. He's a sophomore with the pass interference. Miller just 1 yard. He has now 100 yards tonight with that 1 yard carry. Looking to throw with some space and time. Back across his body just a little bit. It's enough for a first down. The pass completed with a late flag coming in as well.
This had to be something unsportsmanlike conduct. Because it was very late.
And the reaction by Lapel looks like it's against them.
And give Craig credit there. You know, he's scrambling out right, throwing against his body. Kind of a dangerous pass for one, but nonetheless got the first down, but it's negated by the penalty against Lapel. So this will mark it back, just 5 yards. I didn't see what the call was, but it wasn't obviously it wasn't unsportsmanlike.
Just a 5 yard penalty, it appears. So back to the Heritage Christian 39 yard line.
Looks like an ineligible man down field, which was a lineman.
2 receivers split both sides. Craig really has all day to throw, and again, it's the quick connection to Kripe. He's working that far sideline each time and just running 8 to 10 yards, turning around, and the football's right there waiting for him.
Yeah, it's certainly got great chemistry between these two, there's no doubt. Devin's got some good pocket poise, if you will, being very patient. Obviously had great protection that time, so it made it a little bit easier where he didn't have to necessarily go to his second progression. But the O-line doing a really good job. I think, both O-line and D-line for Lapel has certainly won it in the trenches so far.
Play clock running down, but Lapel does get it off. Craig was trying to get out of the pocket. He's tackled for a loss.
I think Parsley would have something to say about that. He's like, hey, man, I've caught the last 2 or 3 passes, for almost 80 yards myself, and he's out wide open. I don't know, Devin must not been able to see him, but certainly was open about 8 yards down the field. But that happens, and sometimes a missed assignments. But nonetheless, we'll go here for 4th down.
4th down and 12. Bulldogs will stay out there. Pressure will move Craig to his left. Now comes back right. Over
room.
The H at the 50. Pass downfield over his intended man, trying to hook up with Griffin Stowe, who was maybe a yard or two shy of the first down. Still had a chance to make it. So you get a little frisky. You go for the onside kick. You pick it up. But the Heritage Christian defense, give them credit, picking up the stop.
Yeah, certain ones just kind of got away from him a little bit, a little floater. But nonetheless turned over on downs. And this is really one where Heritage really needs to try to stop some of the bleeding and needs a positive series here.
Fake the jet sweep with Sloan. It'll be Nix to start things off. Bounces off one guy, spins out of a second, and then tripped up, but still has a first down. And
he's grabbing his right leg.
Up, hobbling a little bit.
Thing you're always concerned with your quarterback getting out of the pocket and running. But Eli's a big guy. I mean, he's got a great frame on him. He runs well. Looks like it's something he's willing not to want to come out. And I get that mentality too. But yeah, he's a great frame kid that does a good job running. We know that. Leads the team in rushing. But got a good frame and hard to bring down.
Looks like a quarterback. And he's got two running backs, split backfield in there with him. Faking to Pimentel, moving to his left, and just dirts that one towards the direction of Sloan. Had some pressure applied. Trying to get to him was Will Gilbert.
I think, one thing I'm seeing, too, from Heritage's receivers is, they're running their routes well, but when you're at the top of your route and you make your break and you're still covered, you got to continue the play. You got to continue to try to create some type of separation, especially when your quarterback's got time to get to his second, maybe even his third read, especially when he's out of the pocket. Got to do some things to create separation until the play's over. I'm just seeing too many of the receivers running the route and just stopping.
Empty backfield this time for Nix. At the left hash, setting up the screen. That's Sloan. Opts not to follow his blockers, but has plenty of space in between the hashes. On 2nd and 10, it's a gain of 7.
Yeah, great positive yards, but again, would have loved to see him to bounce to the outside and get to the sideline. That's where he's really best, if you will, and certainly had a little bit of block with the inside seal. So nonetheless, this makes it 3rd and very manageable with maybe a short 3.
Could see Pimentel. Haven't called his name quite yet this second half. It will be a pitch to him. Forced towards the inside. Plenty enough for a first down. Had to be gain tackled, but not after getting it to the 42, actually the 37 of Lapel.
Well, one thing with Elijah, too, is he runs so much bigger than his frame is. Not sure on his weight, but I'm thinking he's about 160 pounds and does a great job of just keeping his legs moving, which makes it hard, especially when you're wrapped up top and not delivering a blow, but does a good job of extending the play.
New set of downs. Nix, the heat, get to him again, and he's dragged down, but still able to get the pass off. It's caught by Lyon.
And that goes back there too, Jared. We talked about 2 plays ago how hard he is, Eli, to bring down his frame. Well, there's an example of it when he's, a little bit out of the pocket, but he's under duress. He's got 2 guys on him. He's got 1 guy literally on him and making contact and still able to get that throw off the back foot and get it completed for some positive yards. So give Eli Nix some great credit there, just getting the ball off.
And he's going to send everybody out in the formation for 2nd and 5. Setting up another screen. This time Sloan starts on the right side, brings things all the way back to the left at the far sideline. A couple of cuts. And then finally brought down at the 13-yard line. Sloan, he's slow to get up, but a big pickup. They went back to that screenplay.
Yeah, no, it was well designed as we get the replay here. Look at all the linemen.
All 5 of them.
Pulled. Great job there. But I love how he really, again, hit the inside cell and then bounced to the outside. It was really asking for that here, ushering to that. So did a great job of his read and Andrew Sloan there, finding the seams and getting what was probably an extra 12 or 13 yards. Great position here. Being at the 13, I always like these types of positions because you can get another first down inside the 5 if you happen to need it. But a couple really well-designed plays here for the Eagles, and certainly I'm sure that Coach Brink and them are hoping they can get something out of it.
Looking for 6. can still pick up a first down as Pimental won't get much here, if anything at all. Tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Jack Miller, one of the guys in there.
Well, give Elijah credit here where he was really hitting the backfield, but did a great job and great effort in just getting back to the line of scrimmage, because that very easily could have been about a 3-yard loss. So it brings up 2nd and 9, we'll call it. Again, they can get a first down at about the 3.5, and look for Eli. I'd love to see him get out of the pocket or work the middle of the field here.
He will keep it and pick up a couple of yards. Tackled at the 10. So it's 3rd and 6 about. Got a couple of options here. But I think what you said, Craig, Nix, his mobility, because Lapel has been able to kind of get to him and force him out, maybe setting something up to where he's already rolling out and they have the right blocking scheme to protect him for just long enough. We'll see what Coach Brink wants his offense to do here. Nix, off his back foot, dangerous pass over the middle of the field. Lyon was there as well as Sloan. On defense, Isaiah Young had the deflection.
I think it's tough here not to go for points. I mean, if you do, you're still down technically 2 scores even with it, so I understand that. But at the same time, you had a really good drive, and this is 4th and long. You're not at 2 or 3 yards, so looks like about 4th and 6, we'll call it. So big play call here, and this is one where you got to look at your guys. Either it's Pimental in a screen play, if it's Paul's, or even Sloan trying to get some separation.
They will roll him out this time. The 4th down play, Nix at the pylon, and it's off the hands of Aiden Lyon.
Yeah, I think Nix put the ball where he needed to, away from the defender on the outside. I think Lyons certainly had it on his hands. Again, as we see the replay, just a little out route, if you will, one that you'd love to have back, but at the same time, pretty decent coverage there by Lindsey.
Yeah, Jaden Lindsey, one of the guys we highlighted in the pregame. Really good from that linebacker spot. Had to take care of Lyon that time. Was late getting there, but just off the fingertips of Lyon. So turnover on downs. Back to Lapel. They'll start with Miller. And he's pushed forward for a 3-yard gain. Final minutes of this 3rd quarter. Miller's over the century mark tonight. 14 carries so far for him. They'll probably rely on him a lot. Craig hasn't looked to run too often. It's been mostly Miller running the football and Craig hooking up with Jackson Kripe and Braden Parsley as of late. He'll look to pass this time with 2.5 minutes to play. Flushed out and not going to pick up much here, so a 3rd down and 6 is what Lapel is facing upcoming. This 3rd down brought to you by Officially Human. Our mission is to restore respect for game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and court. Do your part, practice good sportsmanship. Remember, no officials means no game. Also, Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent, proudly representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call him at 317-894-7000. From the Lapel 14, the pitch to the motion man, and he's got room. That's Hamilton. Hamilton showing off the Jets.
I don't know, unless I missed, is that his first carry of the night?
I think so. We hadn't seen him at all offensively. He's tackled at the 42. So a gain of 28 for the speedster Hamilton.
And what a great job of making the most of the little bit of carries he's got tonight in the first one. So great job there. And I'm not even seeing anything stat-wise for him on the season.
Now here's Miller bursting up the middle, bouncing off guys, down to the Heritage Christian 36.
Well, and that's the nice advantage. You bring in somebody like Hamilton that might not be much on the scouting report and come in and make those noise, gives Jack Miller a play or two off, as well, comes in. And that's the strength that you have in numbers. We talked about it earlier, mainly in the receivers that Lapel has. But when you get it in these skilled positions, it can certainly make a world of difference, not only in the game that you're in now, but for what's remaining to try to have a deep run in the playoffs.
Looking to pass this time. Craig, he's wide open over the middle of the field. Caught by Avilo. That's his. Actually, that's not Avilo. Avilo's got he's number 8. That is him, actually. I think I was looking at number 9 for some reason. That is Avilo. That is his first catch. He did have one not too long ago, but it was taken off for a penalty. So now it's inside the red zone for Lapel. Craig looking to Vilo's way again, rolling out right, coming back left. That worked back in the first half. You remember when Craig had enough space, moves to his right, looks one direction, and then on the back end, it's that backside post that they have found success with in Kripe. 42 seconds now left to go in this third quarter. The Bulldogs could really put Heritage Christian in a tough spot with a score here. The second down play. Miller has a hole towards his right, towards the pylon, into the end zone. Jack Miller makes it 27-7 Lapel. And right on cue, the Bulldogs make it a 3-score game with just a couple of seconds left before the fourth.
Great job here bouncing the outside and then kind of using the short, stiff arm, if you will, to create the separation there on the safety and taking it to the house here. His first score of the night, but certainly not a stranger, as I believe he has 6 touchdowns on the year and can now make it, or 7. That's now his 8th. Really great job of diversifying, the play calling there.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation.
This isn't much of a rival for them, is it, Milan?
No, because Milan's about 2 hours away.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Now with Cincinnati. Right.
Back at Heritage Christian High School, there's the score, 28-7. You talked about it over the break, Craig. The times of the game when Lapel has scored, they've always, found the right opportunity. It seems like to just make the most of it with a score, and now they really put Heritage Christian in a tough spot.
No, it is. I mean, I go back to thinking about timing and my days of coaching basketball. It was like, hey, the most important 8 minutes of the quarter are the 2 minutes to start the game, the 2 minutes to close half, the 2 minutes to start the second half, and then how you close the fourth quarter. And, they scored, Lapel did, in the last minute with seconds to go to close the half. They open up and score the first touchdown of the second half within the first minute, and then they scored again here in the last minute of the third quarter. And so certainly is, and I think a lot of that is the diversity of the play calling that they had there on that last drive.
Heritage Christian had the right formation for an onside kick. Lapel doesn't do it, and it's put into a corner, fielded by the Eagles at the 23. Everyone's got their hands up.
I think they're looking for a late hit on a Lapel guy hit 54, what appeared to be after the ball was fielded and the player was down, but don't know if the officials must have saw, but you had about 4 of the Eagles with their arms up like, hey, what's this? But again, we talked about it last possession in terms of Heritage really needing to come up with a drive to stop some of the bleeding. And give them credit. They did have a good drive, but they just kind of stalled when they got down there around the 12 and couldn't punch it in. But certainly are needing one here before the close of the third.
Not much time left in this third quarter. Nix will begin things towards his left. Pickup of 4. Now on his 8 carries, Nix has 60 yards rushing tonight. So it has been some bright spots running the football here and there with him and Pimental, but
he's a guy, though, that's averaging almost 120 on the ground rushing, your quarterback is. So certainly have held him in check, and that was part of the game plan, I'm sure, tonight with Coach Miller.
That was the last play of the third quarter. We'll go to the fourth. Lapel now has a cushion, 28-7 with 12 minutes left to play. Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School with Craig Cox. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks for checking in with us tonight on your Week 7 Football Friday, which is brought to you on IndianaSRN by Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else? If you're looking for fresh, amazing food and servers who truly care about your experience, you've got to try Aspen Creek Grill. Also, LifeWise Academy. LifeWise programs support educators and communities by improving student outcomes. With LifeWise Academy, your opportunity, your community, can bring biblical values back into the classroom. Their number, 614-367-5767. To start the fourth, Lyon has the catch to the 37. It's enough for a first down. Lyon, just his second tonight. One of those many guys with 15 catches or more for Heritage Christian. Everyone bunched up to the short side of the field. That's where they'll pitch it with Pimental. He's forced out of bounds just shy of the 40. The pace of play for Heritage Christian, normally just slightly quicker than others. It's going to have to pick up.
Well, and it's I'll tell you, it's a good point you bring up there, Jarrett, because it's slowed down a little bit for both teams, but rightfully slow. If you're Lapel, you don't necessarily need or want to hurry it up, but Heritage has certainly slowed it down quite a bit.
2nd and 7. They try this middle screen again with Sloan. That's the third time tonight. This one looks pretty good across midfield, down to the Lapel 45. Actually, they'll give him the 44. Well, that play has worked a couple of times, and each time it's been Sloan.
Well, he's great on the edge, does a really good job of being able to use his vision, does a good job here of waiting for 74 to seal his block, get to the outside. You see the vision here, a little cut back and getting another 5 to 7.
17-yard gain, and now 3 yards for Nix. Sloan on the night, 6 catches for 67. He has been the go-to target. In that first half, it was Jackson Kripe for Lapel. All 5 of his catches were in that first half. We had not seen him at all the second, which don't necessarily need to with the way they're running the football, and now they have this lead, and now Sloan is becoming the guy for Heritage. Back to Sloan. Similar play. This time he was lined up in the slot. Looks like he stays up.
Down,
yeah. They did not mark him down. He's then tackled at the 33-yard line. Good enough for another Heritage Christian first down. So a good drive rolling here right now for the Eagles. This third quarter brought to you by Morales Group Staffing. They're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we all share. Whether you're looking for the right career or the perfect candidate, we're here to help. Call Morales Group at 317-472-7600. Near side. Hitch route. Caught. That's Lyon.
And now they're just trying to think positive yards, little quick hits, little one-step drop, and get some of these quick hits and try to chunk it up. Now the only downside of that is it can take a lot of time off the clock, but at the same time you'll trade that for positive yards and ball movement.
Looks like a 5-yard gain for Lyon. Back on the ball. They'll run it this time with Pimentel, and really not much doing there. Isaiah Young flies in on the tackle. Also getting up is Cohen Alder. No gain on the carry for Miller. Or for Pimentel, rather. Want to see a quick score here. If you're Heritage Christian, maybe they try the onside kick, kind of like Lapel did.
Yeah, I think the majorly caught Heritage off guard, but got to try to get them a score.
It's that middle screen again with Sloan. Read much better this time by Lapel. As Heritage cannot break the 30-yard line. 2 straight plays for no gain. So 4th down and 6. 8.5 minutes to go. Time running out. And a 4th down here that might just give this one to Lapel. Nix feeling the pressure. Rolls to his left. Incomplete pass. Over the middle of the field. That was Pimentel. Sloan and Lyon also in the area, but again, it's that pressure to start that makes things difficult for Nix and not a clear path to get that pass off.
Well, I mean, if you can't get sacks on a guy, get hurries, and that's what you do. You're trying to flush him out of the pocket. Eli does a good job of sidestepping that and getting rid of that ball, but another well-executed play by the defensive front of the Bulldogs and applying that pressure to hurry him into the throw. And you definitely want that on 3rd or 4th down.
So Lapel would probably see a heavy dosage of Jack Miller. He'll be in the backfield with Devin Craig. And a chance to take off a good chunk of this 8 minutes and change. Miller to start. Tackled for a loss. Pushed back initially by Heritage Christian's Cal Wallen. And also in there to help out Gage Fisher.
excuse me, hasn't been too many plays outside of the first drive, because Heritage did have a really strong defensive first attempt against the Bulldogs, but hasn't been too many plays since then where they've had tackles for a loss like they did there. So certainly hopefully this can turn into something for them.
On second down after the loss, they will throw it. There's Evolo.
Just his second catch on the night. He's a guy that has 4 touchdowns on the year, second leading receiver in terms of yards per game, but just his second catch tonight.
Close to a first down. 3rd down and 2. Second catch tonight for Andrew Evolo, the senior. What a game for Devin Craig through the air. 18 attempts and just 5 of them incomplete. Miller hit at the line. It's going to be close. The referee is right at the 42, and that's the line to get.
Certainly looks like, where he's standing, it looks like he's definitely at it, but they have not motioned for the change. I'm surprised they're not. If that's that close, why they're not calling for a measurement, but
it looks like that's what the head official wants to do. We do know the names of this crew that we have here tonight from Lafayette. Trent Johnson is the referee. The umpire, Dave Mecklenburg. Kirk Clem is the head linesman. The line judge, Mike DuBois, and back judge, Kevin Funk. Not too many penalties tonight. I think just 3 or 4 apiece.
Oh, it's been pretty clean, and if I'm not mistaken, there hadn't been any turnovers that I'm thinking. Am I wrong? Is there
just the turnover on downs? Nothing, no fumbles, no
interceptions,
nothing of that nature.
Yeah, it's been a pretty clean. Which you love that as a coach. Penalties down, no turnovers. But
goes to show 2 well-coached teams, and also late in the season. Yeah,
absolutely. That's what you want. Now, mind you, this is a Lapel team that's only lost 2 turnovers all season long. They fumbled 4, but only lost 1, and then I think there's actually 3, and then he's had 2 interceptions on the year. Craig has so just 3 turnovers for the year, which is pretty solid.
So after picking up the first down, Miller will look to block for Craig, who throws a strike to that far sideline.
Yeah, great ball there. Looks like that you have another first catch, if I'm not mistaken there. Is that Lindsey?
That is Jaden Lindsey. We've seen him on defense. He's a guy that plays both ways sometimes.
And he was a preseason IHSAA All-State at the corner, and like you mentioned, Jared, sometimes comes in, but again, that's the depth, that's the numbers that they can throw at you.
Lindsey's first catch tonight. Back to the ground with Miller bursting through the middle across the 35. Another first down, 13 yards this time for Jack Miller. He has had 7 carries tonight of 9 yards or more.
Yeah.
Chunk yardage plays.
That was like the steam engine run right there, just coming right up the middle, and really strong, powerful run to move the chains once again. And again, give credit to these guys in the trenches for creating the holes. Always, don't get a lot of the praise, if you will, but doing all the big work up front. So great job by the O-line tonight for Lapel.
Now they'll create another hole for Miller, moving towards his right, about a 5-yard pickup. That offensive line for Lapel tonight, Drew Hirschberger is at left tackle. Ben Peterson on. Actually, Hirschberger has moved to the right side of the line for this game. Brooks Kimmerly, Julian Soto, Elijah Priest, and Ben Peterson. That's the front line for Lapel. They have put Miller over 170 yards rushing tonight, unofficially. So we are now under 5 minutes left to go. Lapel just trying to cap this one off. They might add even more points, but before that, they'll have to call a timeout and talk things over. First timeout called of this second half. It's brought to you by Wheeler Mission. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar of the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. You can volunteer. Call them, 317-686-6239. Also by IndianaSRN. If you'd like to become a sponsor on IndianaSRN and support high school and college athletics across Indiana, you can contact Keith Myers, the coach. His email is coach@indianasrn.org. So 4:51 on the clock. That's how much time left for Lapel before they pick up their 7th win of the season, still undefeated and ranked inside the top 5 in Class 2A. Some other scores for you real quick. Games nearby here in the greater Indianapolis area. Pike leads Guerin Catholic 14-7. Brownsburg still on top of Zionsville 28-6. They've added some points since then. And Miller's trying to add some more for Lapel. Breaking a couple of tackles, making guys miss. He's inside the 5. Finally brought down at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, what a fantastic run. I mean, this is something that might have been a 2-3, maybe a 4-yard gain, and turned it into about a 22. So really great run. A little sidestep here, and then does a great job of bouncing to the outside. I understand that he has another blocker in Jaden on the outside here.
They'll bunch everybody in at the 2. They give to Miller towards the right, and he's actually tackled for a loss. Sneaking through there was Klingerman.
They clearly, Lapel has made some, great adjustments, but furthermore, they've executed them, really, really well in the second half. This was a 1-score game, and potentially getting ready to become a 4-score game here in the second half.
Miller, could he add a second touchdown tonight? Same formation. At the 3, looking to pass. Craig will add points.
Window.
And there's the hat trick. Jackson Kripe, he was the man of the hour in the first half with his 5 catches and 2 scores, and there is the 3rd.
And 4th of the night for Craig. I mean, what a great, he kind of had some press coverage there, had a tight window, so great ball placement, and great concentration by Kripe to reel it in for, like you said, Jared, his 3rd of the night and 4th for Craig. So great effective drive as the extra point is coming here.
Kripe's 9th receiving touchdown on the year. Makes it 35-7. The Bulldogs going to be moving on, becoming 7-0 on this season. And we'll come back with the kickoff with just a couple minutes left in this 4th and final quarter.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through, from coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
Well, the third-ranked team in Class 2A is handing it to Heritage Christian now on their homecoming night, 35-7, with about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this one. The Bulldogs, after this, will head back home to host Jay County, a 2-4 team in Class 3A, and then they'll wrap up the season at home as well, facing Eastern Hancock, who tonight is playing Milan and going to win handily 40-7 is that score right now in the fourth quarter. The Royals will be 4-3 after this week. So that's what's left for the Bulldogs this season, to try and hold on to an undefeated year right now. First play of this drive for the Eagles was good for 6 on the completion to Tyson Powles. Hadn't called his name since about the first quarter.
I'll have to talk to the coach and try to get this Lapel Eastern Hancock game on and get you on it with your alma mater.
Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to that. No bias, of course.
We'll have to have it on location. Need to get you there.
Yeah. We'll see what Coach can do about that if he's listening. 5 wide spread this time. First down coming on the completion to Pimental. Boy, this Lapel defense has been phenomenal all night. It was Powles who scored the first touchdown of the game back in the first quarter, a nice 9-play drive that went 66 yards. Since then, 1 punt, 3 times Heritage Christian has turned the ball over on downs, and also they had the field goal that was blocked.
Yeah, it's been, Lapel's kept them scoreless in 3.5 quarters. Scored on their second drive.
Under 3 to go. The run this time with Pimental goes nowhere. Up next for Heritage Christian are 2 road games to finish things off. Their final conference game of the year is with Lutheran next week, and then the season ends at Owen Valley. The Patriots, though, 1-5 this season. Lutheran, we talked about them a little bit, 5-1. Under head coach Dave Pash, who's been doing it for quite some time, 18 years at that school and a couple of state championships. Nix looking to pass, going deep, has a man and overshoots him by a couple yards. Lyon had a step on Page.
Yeah, certainly one that you needed. Was executed well up front, but just a little overthrown. But certainly Aiden definitely had his corner beat.
We talked about sectional play coming up, the draw in about 9 days.
Yep.
This sectional of Lapel, there's going to be a really good team come out of it, because right now them and Northeastern are undefeated in that sectional. Winchester and Triton Central are 5-1. Centerville is 4-2, along with Shenandoah. And then before mentioned Eastern Hancock, they will be 4-3 after tonight. So there's 7 out of 8 teams there that have winning records, and a couple of them are some of the best teams, some of the higher-ranked teams in their class in 2A.
Yeah, no, it's a very competitive sectional that you got there in sectional 38, I believe.
Some pretty good teams in sectional 37 for Heritage Christian has 2. Lutheran is the top team there. Cecina and Park Tudor also 4-2 ball clubs. Nix on this fourth down play with about a minute to go. It'll be one final stand made by Lapel as Sloan. No gain. Isaiah Young right there to stand him up. And allow the offense to wind down the rest of this fourth quarter clock and give them their 7th win.
Oh, he did a good job of staying home here. The defensive players, obviously, and what you have one there in an Isaiah Young. I didn't see who the other one was, but what looked to be something that was going to be some positive yards, just again, have great closing abilities and great techniques as far as open field tackling. So taking over here with on downs, which you'll be in victory formation for 1 and possibly 2 snaps.
35 seconds left, so Lapel will just have to snap it here, and they won't have to snap it again. They'll meet at midfield. The final score tonight, 35-7. Lapel comes into Heritage Christian and knocks off the Eagles. They drop to 4-3. The Bulldogs will remain ranked inside the top 5 in Class 2A and stay undefeated at 7-0 under head coach Tim Miller. What a performance on both sides of the football. 235 passing yards for Devin Craig. Unofficially, 190 on the ground for Jack Miller. So those two doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Jackson Kripe with a terrific game. 6 catches, 3 of those go for scores. He has 93 yards. Just overall, this team was well prepared. They executed in just about every facet, both sides of the football. $35-7, your score. Lapel becomes 7-0. As mentioned, next week they will be returning back home to take on Jay County, followed by Eastern Hancock to wrap up the season. As for Heritage Christian, they have 2 games on the road to finish out their year as they move to 4-3. One of those games, that's next week at Indianapolis Lutheran. Craig, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it was one of those things where, coming into the game, a rivalry brewing, thought it'd be a little bit better game than this. I think that, Lapel just wore you down, kind of had a little bit more versatility in terms of how they can spread the ball around with numerous guys. And I think that it just kind of wore Heritage down. And then, I think the big one was they scored with under 10 seconds to go. It was a 7-7 tie at that time. You score with, 6-8 seconds to go, and the second half was clearly all Lapel. And so, hats off to them. Heritage has a really tough game, coming up next week and finishing out in Owen Valley. And certainly good luck to both these teams for the short remainder of the season.
The undefeated run rolls on for Lapel. They are now 7-0 under head coach Tim Miller. For our cameraman tonight, Justin Griffiths, and our producer, Jack Wright, thanks so much, guys. The man next to me, Craig Cox, thank you, sir, as well. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Thanks for tuning in on Indiana SRN. Week 8 next week. Join us again on the Family Network's Indiana SRN.